welcome to the hard sell, where the stick in the swill-bucket rattles back. And happy Easter, I guess. Yes, the festival of nails has come round again, and usually that means I look at chocolate. Well, not this time. I'm going rogue. Anarchy, no gods, no masters, Armageddon, no future. So anyway, this year I'm looking at eggs. Eggs. In fact, let's go ahead and throw out the not brand eggs thing, since this is a set of stuff adverts. Not brand eggs. There, I've got that pun out of the way, let's never speak of it again. So obviously eggs, specifically chicken eggs, are a great staple of the human diet, a major source of protein and highly versatile to boot. I don't even like them, but if I was to ever, say, attempt to bake a cake, chances are I'd still need to buy some. And they're a symbol of Easter as well, because Jesus was, of course, a chicken. Alright, because of its origins, like Christmas, as a Christian overwriting of a pagan holiday, which was originally intended to welcome spring, the season of rebirth, hence the symbolism of the egg, which we translate into ovals of delicious milk chocolate, although surprisingly that didn't seem to occur to the Americans quite as much. They prefer to paint actual literal chicken eggs in interesting colours, and presumably then eat them. Okay, fine. Like most agricultural products, meat, dairy, flour, even potatoes, eggs have their own marketing board that supports a national industry. In fact, they've had several since World War II. Obviously that was the era of powdered egg, that dried stuff that, as you can see, the Ministry of Food almost brought themselves to tears trying to convince the population that it was just as good as the real thing. It was still on the powdered egg until 1953, thanks to the war also taking its toll on stocks of animal feed and the hen population needing almost a decade to replenish itself. 4 years after the end of rationing, the original Egg Marketing Board was established to stabilise the market. They did this by buying every single egg in the country, grading them to a specified national standard, and sending them back to the British people with the Lion Mark of Quality stamped on the side so we all know they were good. The EMB launched with one of the biggest advertising campaigns in Britain up to that point, centred around one of the most famous slogans ever written. Go to work on an egg, famously coined by Fay Weldon during her time as a copywriter, was everywhere in the late 50s, as it should have been given that they spent £12 million on the damn things over a decade, which is an insane amount of money in those days. For television advertising on the freshly created ITV, their first frontman was character actor Bernard Miles, well known from films such as In Which We Serve, Great Expectations, and Hitchcock's second version of The Man Who Knew Too Much. He tended to play rustic countryman because of his thick rural Oxfordshire accent, and that made him perfect for a traditional farm-based product like eggs.
I still like some in threes, except when I'm hungry, and I'm starving now. Do you know my old ma always used to break her eggs into a little bowl first? Did yours? To make sure they was good? But all these little lion eggs is good. Well, they've all been properly tested, you see, graded and candled and all that. That's got to be done to make sure they're first-class eggs. My little mate here sees to that, and his mate, the farmer.
You can tell how old it is from the abrupt ending. We didn't quite understand how adverts worked yet. We just stopped once the message was delivered. Miles fronted a good half-dozen egg adverts over a few years, but he was far from the only weapon the campaign had in its arse. No, there was good old-fashioned 50s sexism as well.
Main feature of Breakfast Fortnight, the Egg Marketing Board's big promotion to encourage everyone to go to work on an egg, are the egg chicks. They'll visit you at breakfast time, and if you've got eggs on the menu, you get a premium bond. If you haven't, they'll give you a free sample. Of eggs, that is.
Couldn't do this today because of the wokerati and their PC ideas about objectification and human dignity and not being a tacky bell end and actually having enough imagination to sell something without just dressing women up in sexy outfits and calling it a day. I say sexy outfits, but, you know.
Of course, first thing in the morning, one often feels a bit egg-bound. Not really inclined to come out of one's shell to chat up a bird on the doorstep, even if she is the opposite of an old boiler. But if you've got an egg on the boil, you're suddenly a premium bond better off. As for the milk marketing board, they go to work on the chicks.
Or try this one for size.
Day is here, a very important day too, wedding day. And this morning, like any other, begins with a proper breakfast, an egg, packed with protein. For if you're going to look and feel beautiful, you must eat properly every day of your pretty life.
Every day of your pretty life. Look, I'm sorry about waxing political yet again here, but I find this extremely sinister. Like, imagine growing up female at this time, if you have to, with this sort of messaging part of the background radiation of your life. Don't aspire to anything except being pretty and getting married prettily. Man, I just want an omelette. I don't need this social engineering bullshit.
Every day of your pretty life.
Moving on, the most famous spokesman for the Go to Work on an Egg campaign was, of course, the lad himself, Tony Hancock.
Go to work on an egg. Eggs for breakfast.
When I agreed to do an egg commercial, I didn't realise what it involved. Eggs is cheap.
Eggs are easy.
They've been round here. They've taken over.
Eggs are full of protein.
I've sold my soul. I've been bought. Oh, that was nasty. Mind you, I like eggs. What was it they wanted me to say about them? They wrote it down somewhere. Oh, never mind. I'll think of it when I'm having the eggs.
Happiness is egg-shaped.
Yeah, that's it.
This was in 1965, towards the end of both the campaign and Hancock's life. He'd moved to ITV at the start of the decade without Galton and Simpson and never quite had the same success. In fact, this campaign is easily the funniest material he ever had on the commercial broadcaster, and if nothing else proves that his own comic talents remained undimmed.
I'm rather good at crosswords. Trouble is, I make them too easy. 6 down, let's see, down. 4-letter word beginning with E and ending in S, a valuable food rich in protein.
Eggs.
I beg your pardon.
A valuable food rich in proteins is eggs.
It is not eggs, it is eels.
It is eggs.
It is eels, I've written it down and it fits.
But if it was eggs, then 7 across would be pig.
It is not pig, it is pie.
But look at the clue. Pork, and you may hear it grunting.
Well, you've heard of a pork pie, haven't you?
I've never heard of one grunting. Look, change pie to pig and pal to dog, and you've got eggs. And they're rich in protein and a very valuable food. Good value is egg-shaped.
You've completely muddled me up. I'll have to start again now.
That's it. Start the day right with eggs.
Oh, this is hopeless. Look, I've gone right through the paper. It's your fault. Yeah.
And let's not forget to credit the great Patricia Hayes as the invaluable comic foil.
Ladies and gentlemen, owing to the present state of the theatrical profession, I have with great reluctance been forced to accept a job as a supporting actor to a lady doing a commercial for eggs. Hello. Here she is now.
I find as his housekeeper, eggs is easy.
Just as well with her cooking them.
Eggs is cheap, full of proteins, and what's more, they helps you to face up to the day.
And to face up to her, I need them.
Oh, yes, there's a lot more goodness in eggs than people realise. Happiness is egg-shaped.
Pardon?
Happiness is egg-shaped.
Get a bit of glamour in, they said. Dear, oh dear.
Happiness is egg-shaped.
Oh, shut up. Let me get on with my breakfast. And where are my soldiers? You know I can't eat without... Oh, there we are.
Happiness is egg-shaped.
The go to work on an egg slogan finally ran out of steam after Hancock's tenure. The next slogan was the more modern and hip, for 1969, E for B, egg for breakfast, mostly associated with George Best, who the marketing board managed to grab just at the height of his icon as the best footballer, the sexiest man and the coolest party animal in Europe, if not the world. Unfortunately, they also stuck a child actor in there. It's not as if George was that good either, even playing himself.
May I have your autograph, please, Mr. Best? I've seen you on telly.
And I've seen you on telly. You're on Dad's nephew, aren't you?
Yeah.
Remember that last match in Spain?
Cool.
Terrible game. Didn't have an egg for breakfast.
Well, there you are.
I always play better when I've had my E for B. E for B and be your best.
Of course, I play centre forward, you know. E for B and Georgie Best! E for B and Georgie Best! E for B and Georgie Best!
Shortly after this, however, the egg marketing board was scrapped by Ted Heath's government and replaced by the more hands-off Egg Authority. The egg producers were now selling their products directly under their own recognizance, and the authority's main role was simply the marketing and promotion of the damn things. They seem to have done this by simply bellowing the word eggs at the top of their voice, metaphorically speaking.
Take an egg, crack a meal. Crack a meal today.
Eggs. They're for dinner. Later they went full Sherman Brothers show tune with this campaign.
Money's going nowhere. I don't know what I'll do. I'm running out of menus. They're getting tired of stew. Soon they'll come home hungry and rush me off my legs. Goodness gracious, how I need those eggs.
This Spanish omelette costs 60 pence to make. This egg hot pot, £1.50. Egg and cheese pie, 90 pence. What's good for your family is very good for your purse.
Oh, thank goodness. 4 eggs.
The emphasis on economy and versatility isn't an accident. This is the late 70s, after the winter of discontent. Richard Briers is listing prices for a good reason. Not that this was the only angle, there's also speed and convenience.
Chili's off to Brownies, Adam's playing darts, George is at the office, Sue is breaking hearts. Soon they'll come home hungry and rush me off my legs. Goodness gracious, how I need those eggs.
Whatever time they come in, there are all kinds of quick, satisfying meals you can make with eggs. And what's good for the family is very good for you.
Oh, thank goodness. 4 eggs.
But cheapness was never very far away from this campaign.
Want to know how I keep body and soul and my student grant together? Thank goodness for eggs.
Eggs is cheap.
All this frivolity culminated in the Go Smash an Egg campaign that we've seen here before, filling space in TBAM's first day.
If an eggshell is all that stands between you and the goodness you need to go walkies, speak to it kindly and just say very firmly, "Hookies."
Various celebrities framed the same stop-motion animation of eggs being wacky. Barbara Woodhouse, Billy Connolly, Diana Dawes, Reginald Maudling. No, not really. He was dead. It must have got really quite tiresome after a while.
Find the goodness where it's at. Give the eggshell some of that.
Go smash an egg.
Mind you, not all the adverts were more or less identical. Snooker player Terry Griffiths, for instance, got an extended scenario full of Bays-related puns, which he delivered so woodenly it's actually quite endearing.
Do you know which break I enjoy the most? My egg break. Now keep calm as you approach the table. Don't rush it. I'm going for the brown first. So carefully line up your shot. Concentrate on a perfect contact. And... there. And now you're in perfect position for the yellow. Lovely. All it takes is practice. Eggs are smashing. Go smash an egg.
See? Mind you, the era of the Eggs Authority was a relatively troubled one. They saw the UK's entry into the EEC, which meant a new set of marketing regulations and standards, reasonably enough. But this was also an era of increasing nutritional research, and it wasn't coming down in favour of the high cholesterol foods like eggs, which was making selling them pretty hard. It also turned out that a lot of producers system with the marketing board. Not everyone had the nous or the resources for the direct market. So in 1986 the Eggs Authority was abolished and replaced with the National Egg Industry Council, which persists to this day. This functions like the old marketing board did, buying the eggs from producers and wholesaling them to retailers, but this time on a wholly voluntary basis. The direct market still exists if you want to go in that direction. And of course the council still has responsibility for marketing the damn things, which soon became nigh on impossible thanks to a blundering Tory MP named Edwina Currie, then a junior health minister, who nonchalantly stated the following on ITN in 1988. We do warn people now that most of the egg production in this country, sadly, is now affected with Salmonella. She meant much, not most, and she says she was referring to the hens, not the eggs, but that ain't what she said. Britain immediately freaked out. Egg sales crashed, the industry lost £5 million in a week, 5,000 farmers eventually went bankrupt. Meanwhile, thousands of hens became surplus and were slaughtered. Edwina Currie resigned 2 weeks later, and while she has apologised for misspeaking, she's never expressed regret. So something of a baptism of fire for the new authority, and it would be a while before any more stuff adverts would appear, as they concentrated first and foremost on undoing as much of the damage Currie had wrought as they could. By 1997 there was a Salmonella vaccine, and all of Britain's egg-laying chickens were immediately mandated to have it. This was a cue for a major relaunch of the ovular ones by the BEIC. The main thing they did was bring back the national lion mark, which had been dropped in 1971, along with the original marketing board. This time it came with a code of practice, including the mandatory vaccine, and more to the point for this programme, a new advertising campaign. The new slogan was fast food and good for you, emphasising convenience and nutrition, and the adverts were mostly slices of life.
To eat. There's some lamb ragu left.
Lamb what?
You know, with mushroom. That'll take 45 minutes, excuse me. Don't eat the turkey breast, it's your father's.
What's this then?
You wouldn't like it.
Why not?
It's the cat's. I'm off. Wash up after you.
Yeah, we will.
Yes. Protein, vitamins, minerals and low in saturated fat. Eggs, fast food and good for you. Look out for the lion.
Well, someone's life. Presumably. Anyway, it worked. Sales went up, although it was 2013 before they reached the level they were at before Currie ran her mouth. And a second wave of commercials was launched in 2002, doubling down on both the slice-of-life aesthetic and the convenience part of the message.
Right, what have we got to eat?
I know. Why don't we try boiled egg and onion?
Sounds a bit basic. We could have onion, courgette and a boiled egg on the side.
Look, there's some cheese. Why don't we have cheese and onion and an egg?
Oh, for goodness sake, you could have a courgette frittata.
Eggs make a meal out of anything.
And you can do the washing up this time.
Lion eggs. They're fast food and good for you.
Oh, for goodness sake.
To this day, at appropriate moments, I find myself saying, sounds a bit basic, in a Welsh accent, confusing the people around me, assuming there are any, which there usually aren't. It's a cleverer setup than you might realise, with the single shot from inside a carefully arranged empty fridge, except not empty, because eggs. Thanks to their versatility, they make the fridge full by themselves, transforming the other scraps into the key ingredients for 1,000 other dishes.
That was your mum on the phone. She's going to be late picking you up. Again?
I'm starving.
Sorry, kids. There's nothing here. You'll have to wait.
How about Spanish omelette?
Yeah, Spanish omelette.
Eggs make a meal out of anything.
You really do take after your mother.
Why, is Axon so resourceful?
No, because you can make something out of nothing.
Lion eggs. They're fast food and good for you.
This campaign actually generated a tiny but palpable twinge of regret in me that I don't like eggs, because they're clearly massively useful. And of course the carefully arranged quasi-formalism is unsurprising, because these adverts were directed by Tom Hooper.
Yeah, everything's cool, love. Look, I don't want to whinge, but there's nothing in the fridge. Yeah, there's eggs, yeah. Some tomatoes, mushrooms, and a couple of peppers. Flamenco eggs. Ooh, cool. Right.
Eggs make a meal out of anything.
Great idea, Shell. Where did you get it from? Carlos. Who's Carlos?
Lion eggs. They're fast food and good for you.
The most recent campaign I can find comes from a few years later. Fast food and good for you has been dropped in favour of blind patriotism, with a series of short stop-motion ads made by Ken Lidster at Loose Moose, linking lion eggs with various British archetypes, or indeed stereotypes, complete with the none more British voice of Geoffrey Palmer.
Queuing. So very British. Fresh lion eggs. The pride of Britain.
Yes, never mind how tasty, convenient, versatile or nutritious they are. They're British. What more do you need to know than that? They're fitting quite well in this day and age, sadly.
Murder mysteries. So very British. Fresh lion eggs. The pride of Britain.
Although having said that, they are investing another £1.5 million in a new campaign just this year to match rising egg consumption. It will probably consist of a lion-stamped egg in Union Jack underwear beating up eggs from France, Germany and Poland and laughing as various brown shellers drown in the English Channel. It's what the people want. Anyway, enjoy your eggs this Easter. Do try and make sure they're free range. There's really not much excuse for this sort of thing in this day and age. Okay, that's enough lecturing. Go eat a hot cross bun.
How do you like your eggs in the morning? I like mine with a kiss.
I like mine with a kiss.
Boiled or fried,
I'm satisfied
as long as I get my kiss.
How do you like your toast in the morning? I like mine with a hug.
I like mine with a hug.
Dark or light,
the world's all right as long as I get my hug. I've got to have my love in the AM.
Oh, the rest of my day is positively mayhem.
I'm a regular monster.
How do you like your eggs in the morning?
I like mine with a kiss.
Up or down,
I'll never frown. Eggs can be almost bliss, just as long as I get my kiss.
This has been a Bob the Fish production, one of dozens you can watch right now for free on bobthefish.org.uk. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell, and join us on patreon.com/applemask to support further productions and gain fabulous exclusive content, like my ongoing history of the BBC, your day's viewing on a random day in history, even a few exclusive mini video essays. Plus the satisfaction of knowing that thanks to you, I get to eat regular meals. popthefish.org.uk. We care because you do.